Maurice Bay, the Helpful Trucker here. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I put out helpful trucking videos, but most importantly, I put out helpful videos. So let's talk paid CDL schools. You know, I can remember back when I was in CDL school, we used to have to wait in a line to execute our backup maneuvers, the straight back or the offset or the parallel parking. And I can remember several times waiting in line and my turn coming up to execute one of those maneuvers. Let's just say it's the offset. And I'd hop in the truck and I'd do the offset parking perfectly the first time without having to do any pull-ups. And I would get out of the truck, and more than one time I can recall a conversation that went something like this. Me and another guy would get to talking and he would say something like, "Man, you did that maneuver perfectly. You look like you've been here for a while. How far along are you in the course? How many weekends you been here?" Because I went on weekends. And my answer would normally be something like, "Well, I've been here 3 weekends. I've been here 4 weekends. I'm halfway through," or whatever. And then I would ask them, "How long you been here?" And more times than one, the answer was, "Well, I finished the course already. I finished it a few weeks back. I finished it a few months back. But for whatever reason, I wasn't able to get my CDL. I didn't pass the test. Didn't feel like I'm ready to take it." And this video is about helping you avoid being that person, helping you avoid being the individual that has paid to go to CDL school and has completed the course as far as time-wise, but still doesn't have their CDL, because that's the main reason that you go to school. So that is the purpose of this video. So if that's your goal, make sure you watch this video all the way to the end. I guarantee you're gonna get value from it. Now, just the other day, I just happened to stumble up on a blog post, and the blog post had a video attached to it, and it was speaking about just this subject. And before I get into my opinion and my thoughts on this subject, I want you to see the short 2-minute video that was embedded in the blog post.
Before you can take the wheel of an 18-wheeler, you have to have a commercial driver's license.
And that's why schools that train drivers for their CDL are especially important. Investigative reporter Chris Horn spoke with students who just completed a 4-week course to get that license. But Chris, they say they're not ready for the open road.
Yeah, Tom, their school, Shipper's Choice, has 2 locations in Hampton Roads, 3 others around Virginia. The trainees told me after completing the course, they want to pump the brakes on this. But the course director says the course delivers what's needed, and not everyone is cut out to be a trucker.
If I was to take it today, I don't think I would pass it.
Chris Mandel of Chesapeake just finished the Shipper's Choice course to obtain his commercial driver's license.
They said I would get it in 4 weeks. I was kind of in a hurry to get, employment.
Tuition averages about $4,500. A Virginia workforce grant covered Mandel's training, but he doesn't feel like he's ready to hit the road.
I need driving. I only been behind the wheel. Actually behind the wheel with the trailer one time for maybe about 20 minutes. There's not enough vehicles and too many students. That's the main problem.
That's not so.
Director Ed Hank says Shipper's Choice has 5 locations in Virginia. Mandel and another student we spoke with who had similar complaints were part of a class of 6 who had their training here at the Suffolk location. Hank says the company is big enough so that every site has what it needs.
I'll bring a truck from Newport News, or I'll bring one from Chester, or we brought them down from whatever. I mean, we have plenty of equipment.
The course teaches the 3 parts of the CDL test: the pre-trip inspection, backing the vehicle, and driving it. Mandel may be further ahead than he thinks.
Mr. Mandel, he's ready for road, without a doubt. He's got good road numbers. And he finished up, he is ready for backing test. He's at all 4s and 5s.
But both agree that Mandel needs work on the pre-trip inspection when you have to name and explain parts of the truck itself. However, Hank says nearly 3 out of every 4 people who complete his course drive off with what they came for.
We're at about 73% of people that overall, company-wide, that take the course and they obtain their CDL either on their first or second attempt at testing. Some people get to the end of the course, their numbers aren't good enough to pass.
And Hank says right now the DMV is backed up 4 to 6 weeks when it comes to time slots for his graduates to even take the CDL test.
Now, what's really interesting to me about that clip that you just saw is I actually made a few videos about this exact subject previously on my YouTube channel. Some of the same exact things that were brought up in that clip is some of the same things that I've mentioned in my previous videos. And one thing that I experienced while I was at paid CDL school that was mentioned in that video is feeling like it was too many students for the amount of equipment that was available, which created two problems. One, I personally felt like it was too much wait time, too much lag time in between practicing on our different backup maneuvers on the days that we were on the yard. And the second issue I feel like that created is we didn't get enough time behind the wheel out on the road. I mean, by the time people in my class were scheduled to take their test, several of them didn't feel that they were actually ready to take the test, much less ready to actually be behind the wheel of a semi-truck out on the road working for someone. So there were several people that felt exactly like the gentleman in this video. Now, the next thing I want to mention that was shown in this clip just now is the director of the company, Shipper's Choice. He actually mentioned that they have a 73% pass rate. That 73% of the people that come through and complete the course leave with their CDL, get their CDL on their first or their second try. And when the video that I have here on YouTube, 10 things that you should know about CDL school before you go, I actually mentioned that you want to ask questions when you're sitting down and speaking with someone about potentially attending their CDL school. And one of the questions that you want to ask them is, what is their pass rate? And I mentioned in that video that I wasn't sure whether CDL schools actually had that number, but according to the director of Shipper's Choice, they actually do have a pass rate, a number that lets them know what percentage of their students that complete the course are actually leaving with their CDL. Another thing I want to point out that was mentioned in this article is the fact that there is currently, according to what they just said in this clip, there's a 4 to 6 week wait to test to get your CDL with the DMV. Why is this relevant? Because if you fail the first time, then it may be a considerable wait until you get to actually test again, which is absolutely going to extend the amount of time that it takes you to get your CDL. In my opinion, these are all things that you need to be factoring in and thinking about before you pay to go to CDL school. Another thing that I want to put emphasis on about this clip is this is most certainly not an attempt to rip Shipper's Choice. Shipper's Choice does give you exactly what you need in order to be able to complete the course and pass your CDL test with the DMV on time. I'm a testament to that myself. I went through Shipper's Choice. As a matter of fact, if anybody from Shipper's Choice just happens to see this video, you should hit me up for a sponsorship. In other words, I got a lot of your potential customers right here watching my videos. What I do want you to understand is just because you pay your money to go to truck driving school does not mean you're not guaranteed to complete your course and have your CDL within the time that the course is completed. So what do you need to do in order to avoid being the type of person that paid their money and can't pass their CDL test on time? You need to make sure you watch the video that I'm going to link you to at the end of this video, because I go through a lot of what you need to cover with the school that you're thinking about going to. I go through a lot of what you need to cover before you pay your money right there on that video. So make sure you get over and watch that video. So what do you think? If you are an individual that paid your money to go to CDL school and did not get your CDL according to schedule, I want to know what you think. Put your comments down below and let us know your experiences with the paid CDL school that you went to, so that the viewers here know what pitfalls to look out for. Maurice Bay, the Helpful Trucker here. For more helpful CDL tips, go here or consider subscribing to my YouTube channel right here. You could have been anywhere else in the world, but instead you chose to be here with me, and I really appreciate that.